Hi, this is Elliot Wave Sage. Let's do a market update. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. So this week, not really any real exciting price action. We still, trying to grind higher, but no real like wave three of three breakout, surge, nothing like that. So the last update I had, we were looking at watching out for this potential flat scenario, and it looked like, as the week went on, we were actually going to get that, right? We were going to get something like this, and this would have been a more typical wave and corrective wave for this move higher here, because really this wave two is very shallow for this for the end net cycle. Now, if this is in within a higher degree wave three, then this type of shallow pullback is actually not that uncommon, but it's just not what we would normally think should happen. And the reason, as you could see, the RSI reset. So here's your three of three peak. There's your four, there's your five here, and then you peaked out in five right here, right around here. I could put the one, but I'll put it here for now. And then you pulled back, and then you broke the low, and so you finished the cycle. And now we're higher. We're moving higher. And so the question is, are we moving into a three of three here breakout where the RSI will actually take this peak out and go pretty much higher than people could think, or are we going to pull back and come down all the way? So that's the question right now. But if you look at how the market behaved on this rebound, this really does look like some kind of five-wave move off the low here. That would negate the flat, right? Because you have a 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. We'll have to go to the 15-minute chart, and you can see there's the 3, there's the divergence, and there's your higher high. So it's a fifth wave. So therefore, we may not see that flat, and more than likely won't see that flat. So we're in some kind of wave here, where we probably finished a cycle here, pull back, and then come out, something like this, or it's already finished in a 1-2-1-2, and we open up on Monday much higher. PCE did come in favorable to the market, but not that favorable, but enough. So this is kind of the current count at the moment, and we'll just go with that. But that's the count. What I'm seeing in the chart. Bigger picture, it's a wave 3 of 5 in the grand super cycle. Ultimately looking for the wave 3 of 5 to end at 49,000, perhaps even 50,000 on the Dow, with a pretty dramatic, almost like a flash crash pullback in wave 4. As you could see, wave 2 took a lot, a good amount of time and very choppy. This implies wave 4 will be very quick and sharp in a drop. So whenever this 3 ends, 4, we'll know it. We all know it because it'll be essentially a Volmageddon moment like we saw back here when we got this pullback. And I believe, yeah, it'll be the same degree. No, it'll be one higher degree, so maybe even more violent and last a little longer. So then you get the fifth wave, and that's the 5 of 5 of the grand super cycle, or again it extends and erases divergence, and then you get a whole different count. And of course, we want to keep an eye on the long-term divergences. Here to 2017, 2018, massive move higher. If we do take out that peak, we will be in a 3 of 3 of the grand super cycle, essentially extending the bull market for many more years to come. It would really fool many market participants because no one is expecting that kind of pump. That would get us to the targets of the wave 3 That wave three of three would actually reach somewhere around 60,000, pull back, and I think we would eventually hit targets close to 100,000 Dow before potentially the grand super cycle were to end many years from now. If it is that kind of pump, I don't expect it to be that because there is a lot of energy being wasted here overall, and so the stochastics are getting extended, and I do think, yes, there's probably more upside, but is there enough upside to take it much further? I don't really don't think so. So this is the look right now. Uh, so looking at it again, wave five, wave three of five of the grand super cycle is what we're in. You'll have to do what's best for you. Eventually, when this does end, you'll have a worse crash than the 29 and 2008 crash. It will be the worst crash we've ever seen in our lifetime, and we should lose this entire wave here. This wave will go away, and we should be trading back somewhere around this low here, probably a little bit below the low, maybe even as low as 14,000. In a bear market that could last, not just a couple years, but maybe 10, 15 years, maybe a 5 or 6 year drop with a massive sideways move and then another low. So it's going to suck. It's going to suck for the equity markets when that happens. But like all good things, everything comes to an end. And this is nice, nice gains. Now, things about sentiment, just overall, a lot of people, a lot of disbelief in this pump. If you were trading back here in this 2017-18 area, there was no disbelief. Everyone was long. They were high on the market. It was crazy time to trade. Everything was melting up, and it was insane. This was just so insane. I remember, stock twits was pump, messages were coming out left and right. People, it was a day trader's paradise. Space came later, but you had all these other stocks pumping, and it was just crazy. And yeah, and then what happened was, like I said, the most bullish trader, the perma bull, the one that never finally said, F this is crazy, buy puts. 3 days later, the market collapsed. Those perma bulls nowhere near are in that. So that's why I think this can go much higher, because they're nowhere close to like, F this is crazy. We haven't, and I'm not calling out, Twitter handlers. You know who they are. The permabull guys that are buy the dip, but just blindly buy the dip. They were saying buy the dip down this thing, right? Buy the dip. Oh, just keep buying it, as each bear flag broke down. So they're just kind of, but eventually though they will switch, because it'll get too crazy even for them. And when they do that, then it's probably time's up. My guess is this is when that happens. Somewhere in this area is when the perma bulls flip on the market. And just look for that. Look for that sentiment indicator. But right now, we have a pretty clear breakout to new all-time highs. You have price discovery. There's really no reason to sell the market, guys. There's no reason to try to get cute. Try to top tick the market. Try to short it. It's kind of not really a smart thing to do based on typical ways to trade this market. So you just kind of ride this thing up, and then eventually that wave four will come. Then you'll get a relief rally, and then you can get out of the market if you want to. But for right now, I still think the market's going to grind higher, and we have this very shallow wave two here that will really get us that extension we're looking for up into this area, and it makes so much sense to see that. And then, yeah, I mean, and a lot of people are in disbelief, but you have to really go back in time. The market's done a lot of things that seem impossible, but it's done it and time again. And I think it's going to do something similar that many people will look back on and go, this was unthinkable. But I think that's what's happening here. I think we're heading into this nice little melt up here. And I think gold and silver and the dollar index are showing you the way where this market wants to go. And that's risk on. Risk on. SPY, a nice continuation. Again, you had this full cycle here. Nice cycle here with a little bit of a reset. Again, no, you know, no real, no real dip. You can even call this like just looking at this as another like 1 2 1 2 here. Why don't I label this a 3 4 here? Because the peak didn't take this peak out. Now, if this peak was higher than that peak, then I would label it as a 1 2 3 4 5 of 5. But no, we're not doing that. It, this is generous. It could actually be more bullish as a 1 2 1 2 1 2. Uh, for now, I'll leave it this way, but it's kind of not really that important. But we're about to break out of this consolidation here soon, which essentially is a bull flag on the RSI, right? So that's where we're going here. Let's look at the weekly. The weekly is doing pretty well here. Again, we're looking for that, take that peak out. We're no longer in grand super cycle wave 5. And it's just continuing to melt up. And what a great quarter this has been in Q1. Watch my videos in December. I was telling you how good Q1 was going to be, what a setup we were looking at, and this was exceeded my expectations. Um, a lot of money was made in the last 3 months being on the long side of this market in the right instruments, and then getting out quickly of ones that were not working and switching into the ones that were working. That was how to trade this in Q1, and I believe Q2 is all about continuation. I do think late Q2, Q3, we're due for a pretty good pullback. It'll be interesting to see where we are trading at that point in time. If you look at the trends as we get to that late summer time frame, this is where we are, 620, 630 SPY. That would be a perfect time for the end of wave 3 of the grand super cycle for a really nasty pullback that pretty much goes all the way through the election into the inauguration time frame. That's kind of what I'm thinking we're going to see. So I do think the timing wise, I think some point mid to late summer, top out, big volatility, election, post election, and then maybe things stabilize from there, and then we can finish up this cycle in 25. Maybe again, and then that's about it, right? That should do it right about, right about the end of 25, somewhere like that. So we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. I'm still a lot of speculation here. So targeting on the SPY 680, 700, maybe as high as 720. You have this channel, this kind of channel here, parallel channel, and I do believe we will tag that and break out on that, and then that will be where your wave 5 ends up once we break this channel, and that's when it's time to really get cautious. But I do think as long as you're in this channel, you're in a bull market. Obviously the bear market is here, your bull market is here, your end of your cycle is here. That's kind of where I'm thinking we're going with the SPY. Now the triple Qs, same thing. Triple Qs, a lot of sideways action here. Again, could be a 1 2 1 2, and I just kind of look at that. Now here, you do see this kind of cycle reset on the weekly here. You see that weekly set here. Little bit of divergence there. So something to keep an eye on, but not ready to say anything like this is a 1 2 3 4 5. Not or a 1 2 3 4 5 where this leg is done, because the daily does not support that just yet. But if we do get a pullback and start coming down, then the technology chart will look a little different than the others, which is fine, which is signaling a rotation in the market happening, which is kind of what we've been seeing. So you could see technology weaker, something. We could be here, and another wave 1 of 2. I would not put the 3 there. I would not put the 3 there. You could do something like that. I would not put the 3 there because there's not enough extension away from the all-time high here. Uh, I want to see more extension, and we're just not there. So I don't like that view. And I do believe there was another reason here. Yeah, the RSI peak. We need to take out this peak here, and we haven't done that yet. So whatever this is, it's another buyable dip. And then also, as you know, technology looks like it's being supported, and you're getting, Apple's finding some support and some other big cap tech. Amazon looks like it wants to break out. So this what I'm showing here, this may not happen though. So just it's kind of difficult to kind of read the chart right now for technology because it could be that structure that I just showed you, but it also could be a one, like I could put the 1 2 here, and then I could put another 1 2 here, and we extend. So I'm not really concerned about labeling this right now. Just know that I believe we go higher. IWM is behaving exactly according to plan. A nice buy here. Calls worked out great. And then the continuation in wave 3 of a C leg. And I do believe this just keeps going until the market it syncs up with the rest of the market, right? Where the SPY tops out, where the Dow Jones tops out finally. Wherever these top out, that's more than likely when this thing tops out. And this could go beyond 235, 240. It could even break the all-time high. But I do think this is a very risky bottom. The way this bottom looks, I would not. I would be really careful when this leg comes. That it's going to be pretty catastrophic, which means rates could really surge, which is what we really know what eventually will happen with the 10-year rates. Eventually, this move down will end. This will be really bullish for the Russell as this falls, but at some point, we will finish that cycle higher on the higher degree, and when that happens, the Russell should get obliterated. So that's what that chart is telling me, but that's not what's happening, short term. But long term, yeah, that's probably going to happen, guys. So, and then perhaps that's when, you get a much bigger pullback in the market in the grand super cycle wave 3 of 5 ends. And then it peaks out, and then eventually everything falls. So here it is. But for now, the Russell looks pretty healthy. Pretty healthy. I would see continuing upside. There's no reason to sell it. I think it's going to go higher, and then we'll see where things are later. Let's take a look at how China's doing. That's an important market. We did break this high. We are looking for a move higher, and it looks like it's trying to make that move. There was some rumor going on Twitter that China was injecting stimulus in their market. That some people, I guess there were some articles about that. I haven't really dug deep into that, but they're trying to, maybe doing a stealth QE. Perhaps that's when that gets more mainstream with the, mom and pop crowd out there, the 401k crowd. This will break out, but we'll see what happens. It's kind of, there's not a lot of chatter about that, but I've seen some things. Bitcoin's interesting chart, guys. Mentioned that we're probably in some kind of wave 5 here. Looking for 80,000, a pullback, maybe back all the way back down to 60,000, and then another wave higher, maybe to 90,000, and then another pullback. So there's a lot of choppy price action here, guys, coming in this cycle. Within this grand super cycle wave 3. So we are in a grand super cycle wave 3. This is not a wave 5. per my system. A lot of Elliott wave people think this is a wave 5, but as you can see, the RSI reset the cycle for all the trade-in action since the beginning. So this is actually a massive move down in wave 2. This is a massive move down and a flat, an A, B, C. So this was actually part of the bear market, and this is really fooling a lot of traders because they think this is some kind of impulse. This is really a three-wave move off the low. This is really part. So really, this fifth wave here ended early in the bull market cycle, and a lot of traders just don't know that because this was a flat correction, and now it's over, and it corrected the whole thing. So we're in a wave 3 grand super cycle. So the question is, where do we go from here? How do you trade this? And you really just have to hold it, guys. You gotta have to just, this is something you just gotta have to hold for a long time. You have to hold for a long time. And again, you gotta just, because you're not smart enough to trade in and out of a wave 3 of a grand super cycle breakout. You're just not. You're just not gonna know when it ends, and you're not gonna be able to know how to get back in properly. You already hear and talk of people like scared about like this is so unnatural, like there's no way this can keep going, so I'm just gonna like maybe just trade in and out of it because it's just now no way. So there's a lot of disbelief on new all-time highs, which is a setup for a much bigger parabolic move as people have to chase the action because they're getting out too soon, because they're worried that this is the top. What do I see happening here? Obviously, there's going to be a top here of some kind and a pullback, and then a massive move higher of epic proportions. And we'll be getting into numbers that seem unthinkable. And more than likely, the first major pullback up in this area will be nowhere near the top, and people will leave and then end up chasing higher. Um, you know, so you're just going to have to really understand your money management so that you're not shaken out of these positions and get in at the right spots to trade what's about to happen. Because as you know, Bitcoin in wave 3s, I mean, we saw here, look at this wave 3 here. This was a wave 3. They eventually ended, and then we had the 2, and then they turned into a higher degree wave 3. So wave 3 is essentially go straight up vertical and in a mania phase. That's what we will see, but on a much larger scale than Bitcoin's ever seen, which is, it's hard to believe, but that's the reason. And you're like, well, fundamentally, why? Well, you have a lot of money coming in, and now you have passive dollars coming in easily. People that just buy at any price that will put excess liquidity in this. It's easy on ramp to do that. And I do think the dollar index, the setup for the lower, in the dollar index, gold breaking out, I do think there's some kind of inflationary shockwave in asset prices coming. So this is kind of getting you ready for that. So this is telling you something about the overall market structure, what's going on. So yeah, Bitcoin to me, will continue higher. Now, keep in mind it can always extend. So we could do another 1-2. Again, this could be a 1-2 again. It could just keep going vertical. We don't know, but right now you're essentially trying to flip resistance to support. That's what's happening here. Trying to come up with support here. So you see these peaks. So it's trying to flip the resistance to support. If the market structure can do that, then it will take off. It will take off. If we fall back beneath of it, then there's some danger of a deeper correction. And again, double top. We really need to break this high to negate the double top talk. We haven't done it yet. So yeah, I mean, there's always a chance. The bear case is very slim, but there is a chance of some kind of double top potential. But it's running out. There maybe it's 5% chance now of a double top. But once we break this, I think there's no more opportunity. The talk of a double top is over, and this is a fresh news cycle off this low here. And the reason the market was full was because of this flat structure because a lot of people attributed this to the bull market, but this is really not a bull market here. This was part of the bear market because the bull market ended right here on April 21, early, early here. Even though the price did exceed it, but this was part of the bear market. So really, the bear market was this whole wave. So anyway, guys, that's Bitcoin, and we'll just leave it at that, and see where we go with it, and go from there. If we do take a dump, I don't think we would, but just to give you guys a buy-in area, if the market decides to give you a gift, right? There's your buy-in area: 58, 55,000, 52,000 for a really good opportunity to get back in on the long side. If that were to happen, then we finish this higher degree 3, and we're in this 4. So we'll just have to wait and see where we are in the next week or two. But it does look likely that we're gonna break out in this 5. But we'll keep an eye on divergences and see how it goes. Where are we with the 4-hour peak? So yeah, we've got a ways to go. So I think I think for the most part, it looks like we're finished wave 1 of 5 here. So yeah, I think for the most part, this is a wave 5. It'll take a massive pump to raise that divergence to continue the 3. So I think odds are it is a 5. It is a 5. So odds are. Okay. And silver should be finishing up this cycle here. Real ugly correction. And in fact, to me, this doesn't even look done. I still won't be surprised if we're still in wave 2 here. You know, I'm not going to try to label that. But but I do see a pump to $30 coming. Gold's continuing the breakout, guys, as you can see here. 1 2 1 2. Looks like a 3 of 3 coming. How high can gold go? We don't really know. I mean, there's a lot of speculation, but you guys got to look at the bigger picture in gold. Okay. Excuse me. So here, bigger picture. So we've seen these basins before. Okay. Big ass basin here. We have a breakout, all-time highs, and then it plummets. This is the '08 crash. All-time highs, we crash back down. Okay. All right, interesting. Let's go back to another error, another time. And it's hard to see the chart data, but I'll try to do my best here. Again, another little basin. Again, we broke out to all-time highs, and boom, we crashed back down. Okay, but then look, it's essentially vertical, right? And here, another basin. Here, we break out, and we crash back down. So Bitcoin likes to have these breakouts like we're doing, and then a massive crash, but all those crashes have always led to massive pumps. They've all been like a shakeout, Here's another one here, breakout, a crash down, and then a massive pump. Okay. So just again, let's looking at the nature of these waves here, crash. So now here we are, right? Here we are, guys. Here we are. So breakout, right? Now you had a little bit of a breakout here and a crash, right? Here. So here you could say this was the breakout and crash right here of this basin. So if that's the case, we should be about to go vertical. And my guess is I think 3,600 is a good target, but I think it'll go actually higher than that. Is my thinking. If we do get this breakout and crash, if it does do that breakout and crash, we know what it is. We know it's a shakeout. We know what we need to do, and what we need to do is let it settle down, and then and then don't look at the instrument, let it rebound back, break the high, and then go long again because that's what's going to happen. We've seen that. If so, so that's why gold is such a good risk reward setup right here. That's why a lot of people are pumping in saying go long because it's really it's a lose. I'm sorry, it's a win-win no matter what happens. Now technically, it's a great chart. And again, it can do that pullback, but we've seen that it tries that pullback, always fails. So if it does a pullback down to like 18, 1700 for some reason, it's just a shakeout. It's just fooling traders. So here we are. I do believe we'll go much higher. And where do you want to be in this trade? Gold miners. Absolutely, gold miners is where you want to be. And why do I say gold miners? Because the GDXJ is one example here. The GDXJ, if you look at the GDXJ here, guys, okay, the GDXJ has been in a bear market since really 2014 with higher lows. Guess what's going to happen? We're going to come out of this. We're going to come out of this. And then it's going to surge in a wave 3 for years. Years of gains. Years. This is one of the best generational investment opportunities in the entire stock market right now. Gold in the miners, gold miners, silver miners. It is. And you'll look back and go, damn, I could have bought this here. Because I'm almost willing to bet if we could go forward in time, let's say 2040, we'll be 300-400, probably higher, much higher. So the precious metal market is super bullish, guys. Super bullish setups. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, I'm gonna just sell gold at 3,000. I don't think you should do that. I think gold is like you shouldn't sell it for a long time now. I think gold's been in a secular bear market in some ways for a while, and then the gold miners like a generational bear market. I mean, this bear market is essentially it's missed the entire bull market phase of the market right here. I mean, this is coming out. This is coming out. Save this video for your grandkids, show it, and then they'll say that mom and dad, why didn't you invest here? Because I'm just telling you, this chart just looks so good on the long term from an investment standpoint. The miners. But anyway, do what's best for you. We do have a breakout of this downtrend line. A lot of 1-2s, and I do like to get a breakout into the 40s, 45s, and then cycle ends will come back, and we'll just continue to grind higher. But I do like the miners. Okay, so oil did something really interesting. It broke that high. I was looking at the RSIs. We have not reset the cycle though, so this is still the same cycle within this connector wave. So I would still say we're in that leg. So there is no new cycle. So it's still a sell here. It is still short. It is in a short area. It could be just in like a final wave 5 here with a 4 and a 5. But I do think, again, if you look at this, it looks like a massive bear flag, right? So this did not reset this. So this is just the same corrective leg here, finishing up, something like that. We did silver, we did gold, natural gas. Again, I don't like it. Was looking for this ABC, we got that. Now I think natural gas is ready for the move lower. Dollar index. Going back and forth on this labeling, guys, on the dollar index. I had this in a triangle. Looking at the gold, silver chart and Bitcoin chart, I do think, I'd rather see, I'm going with discount now. Again, where you have a 3-wave move, W, a 3-wave move, X, and then you do 5 down and an A, 3 up and a B, and then a 1, 2, as long as this high doesn't break here, and then we drop in 3, 4, 5, pump the markets, and then that's all she wrote. And then things start topping out around here. So I do think I like that as long as the dollar index is below this 104.99, 105. Now, if we break that, then we go back to the triangle I had earlier. But I'm going to leave it this way for now in like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to leave it like that. We'll see what happens next week. 10 years, the same thing. We never broke that pivot. So we have a 3-swing move. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's ready for that big move lower in rates. This will really juice the Russell, juice growth stocks, and be really exciting for the stock market if we can get this move. But again, it's just in the bigger picture, some kind of wave 2 finishing up at some point for this move, which I do believe is the massive move lower in a lot of the indices. Perhaps this is the major inflationary move. Maybe the only thing that works in this time frame is gold and silver and some other select items. Like, I don't know, but this is eventually, whenever this leg ends, and again, it could go on for a while. More than likely, that's the end of a massive cycle in the market for another big leg down, another bear market advance, like we saw here. The VIX hanging around, trying to go get to where my target area, down in this area. Okay, so that's just the regular market, guys, and then just kind of go through some tech stocks that people like. Apple, again, real nail biter, holding its pivots. You could call that a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So could be another 1, 2 here. Not ready to sell it. Pivot breaks. Yeah, probably get out of the trade. Leave the trade. I would probably leave the trade. And then looking at a couple other ones. Let's see here. How's Facebook doing? Or Meta. Looking for this bigger, higher degree 4. So it could be a really good buy down in this 467, 456. Tesla, holding that low, like I mentioned. I thought this was the low was in, and it looking good. Looking good for Tesla. Now we only have a 3-wave move up here, so we really need to take this high back out to confirm the bottom. So we really need one more push higher to confirm that low. And right now we just don't have that, so we need to wait for more price action to see what this is actually here. But as you can see, we probably are resetting cycles, or see we're about to, which is why we need that push higher to really reset this leg and call the low in. Or a major, and this would be a major pivot. Adobe's hanging in there against this low. We'll wait and see if it breaks down. It's going to be a good buy at flat 470, but I'm starting to think that it probably isn't going back there. AI, keep an eye on that. It's heading into the buy area. Would it be surprised though to see a drop to 25.32 though between the 2 and the 4? Go deeper, but it is in an area. AMD, again, did we get a shallow connector? We'll have to wait and see. Could it be X still? A, B, C, D, E? Yeah, maybe. So we'll have to wait and see what this connector morphs into. Nvidia, looking for this 5th wave, top out in 3. To me, I don't like this bottom, so that's why I think it's going to come down. And that would be a really good opportunity to go long Nvidia. That would be around 836, 804, maybe as low as 754 coming down here. Okay. SoundHound is in a buy area for this wave 4 if it is the wave 4 low. This, I think, reset the cycle here, reset the legs. So this is a pretty important pivot that really needs to hold 544. If that can't hold, then there's some other structure, and it could really unravel quickly. Okay, I think that's all I want to say on. Oh yeah, Robinhood breaking out. Still have it in this wave five, unless we can erase some divergence. We haven't done that yet, so be careful here in Robinhood for this two wave. But this could be a really good opportunity to go long if you've missed this move up. More than likely, we would come back down to 16, $17 if this when this five does end. Again, the risk is it just continues higher and the wave three extends. Yeah, looking at China, I saw Neo broke down. So the label and I have right now is it needs some fours and fives. So can't really target it, but obviously it's going lower. You know, EVs are just really sentiment is really negative right now. PDD looking for that 103.93 area. Baidu did get in the buy area and is now pumping, so that low may be finished. Again, following me, I gave you the setup in Baidu. Nice. Look at that beautiful wedge. Could get a wedge breakout in Baidu, hopefully, you know, depending on where you draw your lines. Okay, healthcare. I don't think there's anything interesting I want to mention in healthcare at the moment. I know some people ask about pod. Again, I think pod will be in a connector wave with a failure at some point. I'll be really surprised to see it come out. If it does, I'd be really. But I do think that cycle's over, so it is in a new cycle higher. So I do think this downtrend is over. Pfizer, you know, is finding buyers. You know, it's going to reverse. It's going to take time to come out of that. mRNA, yeah, came down, hit our low, and looks like, depending on how you label it, that could be five up and a 1-2, you know, or more likely it's another 1-2. We're still in wave two, something like that from RNA. How's Lilly doing? Pretty bullish. We got this four here. We're in this five, and it's struggling like a typical wave five. So yeah, Lilly, get a little concerned. We could have a much bigger pullback coming soon. If this wave five continues, you know, if it's still weak. Okay, and that's all I want to say on healthcare. Consumer discretionary, we saw Lulu really take a dump, although it is in a buy area now, three-wave move. So Lulu was a lesson and not to chase, right? We were looking, you know, we thought this was a connector, but then this was too shallow, so we weren't able to buy it, and then it dropped again, and there was just too much bullishness here. We never got that good capitulation, so that's why it was really good to just be on the sidelines as this was playing out. Well, now you got the capitulation, and now you really are in an area where it could find support. Um, you know, so this is the area of the bounce technically. If we do break below 366, 363, then the flat is in play, and the flat could take us down to this area, break this low at 251 or even lower. So I'm keeping an eye on that, but you know, I do show that here, but I don't, you know, it's not really clear, you know, right now, but this does look very three wave-ish. This does not really look like a five move, so that's why I am concerned about the flat. It is, you know, so I think we really need to see it come out of here. If we can't, we see it continue lower. I do think the flat is in play down into this area eventually. Nike finally hit our target area we've had for months and months. And as long as this pivot holds at 88, it should be good to go. I believe it's going to hold. So I do believe Nike is a cycle buy here. The cycle buy at 91, 92, somewhere in this area. But you have to do what's best for you because yes, if it breaks these pivots, this would be a massive connector for this leg down, and that takes you to 33 bucks, $30, $20 Nike, which would be a historic low and generational investment opportunity. If we got there, it seems unlikely. So backing into the low makes you think you really, you know, technically it doesn't seem likely. So that's why this seems like it's probably the low here as well. Okay, let's see staples if there's anything here. AEHR took. I saw they were really getting destroyed. So this Y leg continued lower and extended in a 1-2-1-2, which is always the risk, right? So 1-2, it could have been a 3-4-5. It could have ended, which is the more conservative call, the right call typically. But unfortunately, it extended lower. So so it's just going to continue to go lower until this wave finishes, and eventually it should finish. But that's kind of the nature of these things. And actually, this is probably the 3 here and the 4. So so it's got some more downside to come, but this is also a lesson in divergences, and again how wave threes can really extend when people don't expect it to. CLH, we haven't looked at this. I think it did a split, so I have to update the chart later on that. How's Costco doing? Need to update the chart on Costco later. And Monster, this is very shallow for the grand supercycle correction. I would be worried about a flat, but we'll keep an eye on it. We did break this high. We look at that RSI reset on the daily and on the weekly. Wow. So very shallow grand supercycle correction, guys. This is very, very shallow for Monster Beverage. It seems too bullish. Right, seems just too bullish. But the RSI reset is there. Let's see, we didn't reset that. Let's go to a higher degree monthly. Let's take a look on the monthly here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, not yet. So we haven't. So I do think we'll get a rug pull. I think we're gonna get the rug pull to finish it up. So yeah, just be careful FOMOing in on this. I would call it like this then. That's what I'm looking for. Something like that. So let's see here. Okay, so I went through a lot of different charts. How's Boeing doing? I know they've been really negative, a lot of news. And again, if you're following me, we got this right. We still want to see some more downside. I want to see some more downside in this wave too. And then it should be some pretty bullish, a lot of good bullishness, and then another hopefully it's not another plane crash or something, but something's bad, really bad's gonna happen here, and then then it's like game over. So I don't know. So Bowen's chart really sucks, guys, on the grand supercycle scale, but as a trader, yeah, there's a viable dip coming for this jump here, but I do think this is I just don't see all-time highs ever coming back for a long, long time, if ever. Maybe equity holders get wiped out, and whatever this is, some kind of bailout, government bailout is needed or takeover. What this tells me is something really, really, really terrible is going to happen soon, at some point, and wipe out the shareholders. Just that's what this chart is telling me with Boeing, guys. I don't like buying it. I mean, there's so many other things to buy. Why take the risk? Why take the risk? Caterpillar, what a breakout! Caterpillar, guys. Straight vertical. We should take that peak out soon, so it's probably got more upside coming. Deer pulled back, right? Have it in this C wave, right? 3. How did I have this here? A. Yeah, so I want yeah, we're in some kind of connector wave, and deer. We could probably get back up to 500 somewhere in this area, and then another drop. So there's a lot of sideways action here. Okay, a long video. I haven't given an update in a while. So what do I see in this market? I obviously very bullish market, guys. And I do think it's going to continue higher. Probably to levels that people just can't understand or contemplate, but it will happen. I do see there's risks of divergences being erased that you're using to maybe consider calling tops, and that will further extend the market. And then at some point we'll get a pretty big correction in our typical time frame, late summer, October, November, maybe to the end of the year, then more upside, and then maybe 26. You know, if this is the count, where in 3 of 5 of the super cycle, a calamity happens of some kind, rate, long end rate surge, and that's all she wrote. The other alternative is we erase divergence and we continue the bull market for many, many years to come. And again, the nature of the market on why that would have does not mean it's good for society, because it could be a hyperinflationary crisis of some kind, which creates the illusion of a 3 of 3 wealth effect type situation. But gas is $10 a gallon, and bread is $20 a row. Maybe there's a massive currency crisis, and maybe that's what gold is foreshadowing and trying people getting ahead of it. And maybe we will have a dollar collapse of some kind and a massive currency crisis come in, and then yes, why would the markets may not crash in that? It may hyperinflate, which we've never seen in our country before, but we've seen in other countries. And the ones that hyperinflate, their stock markets go parabolic as their currency collapses. And yes, an Elliot wave practitioner would say Venezuela was in a 3 of 3. Look at that. But shit, society was in catastrophe during that. It wasn't your typical 3 of 3, but yeah, by the letter of the law, it's 3 of 3. So we don't know how this is going to play out, but gold really is a warning for the market to like fundamentalists, because a massive breakout in gold along with Bitcoin, it's just like, and potentially silver, like something is not right in terms of like from a systemic standpoint. Something is breaking underneath it. It just hasn't happened quite yet to where everyone understands the situation, where they're gonna start flooding more money into those asset classes. But I think that will happen and exasperate the situation. And I do think the setup on the dollar on the monthly chart again is a massive bear flag. Okay, that goes back since the invention of QE, right? This bear flag will break at some point, and it could, maybe on my count is off. It's already here, peaked. If once this bear flag breaks, this is where it's going, down here. The value of your money is going to be wiped out. So at some point that is going to happen. That is, and that makes sense, because that will be the real grand super cycle of Bitcoin that no one can even fathom yet. This leg, Bitcoin didn't trade from here to here, right? Bitcoin was trading here while the dollar was actually been grinding higher. Imagine when the dollar index is in free fall. Could you imagine what Bitcoin will do when the dollar index is in free fall? The dollar index essentially has been grinding higher, and Bitcoin's still going parabolic on the logarithmic chart. What's it going to do here when this happens? God knows. Just think about that. So I'll leave you with those thoughts, and you guys got to do what's best for you. And I don't think there's any market catastrophe on the horizon from a price standpoint. I think it's all bullish, buy the dips, grind higher type market right now. That's what I see. Bye.